Hello everyone, I am Border, also known as Borderwise, and welcome to the first roguelike commentary done on this channel. I've done others before, they're in a nice neat playlist if you want to go have a look. But for now, we are playing Halls of Torment, which is an absolutely great survivors type game, which is, I guess, auto-shooter, roguelike, ARPG kind of thing. There's a bunch of these. Vampire Survivors started quite the trend. This is one of the better ones. All the ones I've played are decent in their own way. This one is absolutely great. If you haven't tried it, you absolutely should. It's a real blast. And the central theme, because I've decided that like these commentaries should like have a starting theme, is that because there's so many of these survivors type games, like, you know, it's becoming a genre. I think it was a genre before, and Vampire Survivors just was so damn good it started a whole trend. But yeah, there is a... Like, funnily enough, not with Vampire Survivors itself, because it doesn't have the mechanic, but with a lot of the other ones, something that I'm finding consistently works across them, so that's Halls of Torment, which you're seeing right now. We'll talk more about the actual kind of build I'm using in this run in a little bit, but also Soulstone Survivors, I've forgotten what the hell, yeah, like, and others as well, is just basically max out your critical chance and your critical damage, and then you will basically be smooth sailing for the most part. That's not what this run is about. You might have noticed that there's a lot of fire here. That is because, and you'll probably see it in the video whenever we're actually looking at our inventory screen, I forget the names of all the items you can get, but basically, it's all about setting things on fire. This is the starting class, the warrior, but just rigged to do heaps and heaps of fire damage and set everything on fire, because I thought that would be fun. And it is, and it was. How about that? So, yeah, so we've got boots that leave a trail of fire. Oh, there we go, so Ring of Fire, right there, converts all physical damage, or at least converts the damage of your main weapon, sorry, to fire damage. Really cool. We've got another ring that summons rats that constantly basically debuffs enemies, which is really handy. What else? There's the headpiece, which I forget the name of, which basically like ups your damage depending on how many enemies are on fire. Also super handy for this. And what else is there? I think, like, the chest piece is the thing that, like, you know, gives you a chance to heal every time an enemy dies. And yeah, I'm not sure, like, you can see it on the right-hand side. You can see certain things ticking up or down. So we've got the rats ticking up or down. We got, what else we got? Yeah, the crown, buffing stuff, and all that kind of thing. So yeah, that's the build, and I was kind of worried this wouldn't work. I worried I would embarrass myself by having a commentary that's too short. Spoiler alert, it turns out fine. We do great. We set things on fire, and I thought it would be, I don't know, thematically appropriate to basically just, you know, have a fire build on the ice level. You know, it'd just be funny, or funny in a fun way. I'm not laughing, so I'm not sure about anything anymore. Also, Dragon's Breath, really good ability. It just sets everything on fire. It's that fiery wave you see coming out there. Yeah, this game's good. There's a lot of ways to up your build, and also, funnily enough, the thing that always strikes me about this is, like, I don't know, I'm not a huge Diablo fan. I've played Diablo 2, not the expansion of Diablo 2, which is Lord of Destruction, I believe. I played Diablo 3, and did not play the expansion for that. I forget what it's even called. I have played Diablo 4 as well. I think the expansion for that has just come out recently. Don't quote me on that. But Diablo, like, this game, Halls of Torment, feels more like Diablo 2, than Diablo 3 or Diablo 4 does, which is quite interesting because it's actually quite a different game. Like, visually, it's, like, you know, I think it's deliberately evokes that style, which means it's actually doing something very similar to Vampire Survivors, which is evocative of Castlevania while being a completely different kind of game. It's not an action platformer Metroidvania game. It is, well, an auto-shooter survival roguelike. And yet, it vibes like Castlevania. And I say that, and I've never even played Castlevania, so feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, and this game vibes like Diablo 2, even though it's actually not that similar, like in a mechanical sense, to Diablo 2 at all. Yes, you're slaughtering hordes of enemies, but it's an auto-shooter, and you'll see at various points in this video, I actually switch between auto-target and, like, manual aim, because, you know, there's pros and cons to both. Sometimes you want to aim things, and sometimes you don't. And sometimes it's fine to let the computer do all the work. And, yeah, so it's fascinating that. It's got that... It's the atmosphere, I think, more than anything else. It's the music, it is the visuals, and it's, I guess, the theme as well, because Diablo 2 is a very dark and gritty game. Like, the whole game is you basically pursuing the Dark Wanderer, who is the hero of the first game, possessed by Diablo himself, across the lands, and like always you're trying to catch up to this evil which is escaping you. By the way, I'm skipping abilities because I want to be pure fire. I want to, you know, goodness gracious, great balls of fire. And yeah, I am still buffing the crit charges as much as possible because that's just a good idea. And once again, no fire on here, so we're not doing that. By the way, one of the better builds with the warrior or with any class in this game, which uses physical attacks, is the ring, which basically gives it a chance that 40% of any physical damage done is basically done in an area of effect around, you know, whatever targeted hit. That's really, really good. And especially for the warrior, because it has... he has like a fast close-range AoE attack. It means that anything that gets near him, the bigger the lump of enemies, the cluster, the more damage is done, which means that can absolutely save your bacon, which is very, very nice, and it's really fun. It's really fun. I really highly recommend this game. I did a one-off on it, actually, on me other channel, but we're covering it here simply because this is what this channel's about. We're doing the RPGs, we're doing the roguelikes. Need to cover the RTS as well. As ever, if you've got suggestions for what games to cover, whether it's these post-commentary things or more, I guess, traditional Let's Play videos, like, I am absolutely down for that. There are so many good games, both old and new, and it's just very exciting. So, I think I was trying to make a point of, yeah, vibes. Yeah. I should dig out Diablo 2. In fact, I should play the expansion of Diablo 2 because I recently got access back to my Blizzard account. Here's a fun story. So, I forgot the password to my Blizzard account years ago. I'm talking like over a decade ago. Like, that's how old I am. Because back when I forgot it, like, in order to get your password reset, in order to recover your details, you had to send a letter in the post to Blizzard to, like, confirm who you were and you wanted your password reset. And so then I didn't reset it, and I basically didn't use my Blizzard account at all for the longest time. More recently, and this was actually in order to play Diablo 4, which, by the way, huge shout out to my sister who works at Blizzard, she got me a free code for it, so I didn't have to pay money for it. Haha. Suck it, Bobby. You didn't profit from me. But anyway, Diablo 4 is decent. Not my favorite game ever. Play it for the plot and then really never play it again because I don't see any reason to play it through more than once. I'm just, I don't know, maybe it's not for me. But anyway, so got my Blizzard account back, which means that, like, hopefully I can now buy Lord of Destruction, like, just online, and I don't have to finagle around with CDs and stuff. I'm not even sure if Blizzard sells it. I think they probably do, like, a pack or something. I really should have looked this up. In fact, I can look this up. Let's look at Blizzard Store. Let's look here. Am I full of nonsense? It is always fun how, with these commentaries, I always end up talking about games other than the one that's being on screen. Blizzard Store. Alright, so it's on Battle.net, I'm guessing. What the hell? Wow, first thing I got was an error. Well done, Battle.net. Okay, search shop. Diablo. Whoopsie daisy. Come on. Diablo 2. Diablo 2 Resurrected. Hello? This website is clunky as hell on a mobile phone. Or maybe my phone... There we go. Diablo 2 Resurrected. System requirements, blah blah blah. Does it include the expansion? It doesn't seem to say. So... Nope, it doesn't seem to, like... Let's type in Diablo 2... Lord of Destruction? I don't know, like, it doesn't appear to do it, which is unfortunate. But anyway, like... Maybe I'm just looking wrong. Or maybe it is included and I just don't know. It would suck if they... That's an absolutely scatterbrained move, if that's the move that Blizzard has made, is that, like, they have the original game available and remastered and stuff over Battle.net, but they don't have the expansion for it, which is, strange. Like, let me know if that's actually the case, because that seems really stupid, and I know that Blizzard has, made some really scatterbrained moves in the past. Most of them within living memory. But yeah, that seems stupid even by their standards of stupidity. Anyway, let's talk about the game that's actually on screen. You'll have noticed that I basically am a dude with a flamethrower and a sword now, so that's hilarious. Also, I do kind of like how... I kind of have a love-hate relationship with this mechanic of, like, the well. Because you go into the Halls of Torment, and when you find something, like, you know, something to get more potions, or something to get, you know, or a new item, a new piece of gear, you put it in the bucket, and the guy on the other side pulls it up. It seems kind of weird and annoying how he can't lower it back down again, like, every time. But I suppose it's so that, like, you can't just, you know, farm for items. Which, now that I say it, is a marked difference from, like, well, there's a huge mechanical difference, like... And one thing I absolutely love about this game, actually, is, like, it's not... There's no vendor trash. That's one of my big problems with, games, like, in the Diablo mold. So, things like Diablo, Torchlight, Grim Dawn, that kind of thing, is that, like, most of the stuff that drops is useless, and the more you play the game, the greater the percentage of stuff that is dropped that is, like, useless. You just sell it, so you might as well save the player time and just drop more money, so to speak. So, yeah, like, dungeon crawler action RPGs are a very strange game if you stop and think about it. But, like, yeah. And this game, what I love about these kind of survivors games, survivors, not survivor, because, like, survival games are a different thing. Like, game genres are hard, actually, because, like, games vary so much in, like, gameplay and just, like, how the mechanics work, is that they quite often defy categorization, even by the standards of an art form. So, survivors games, auto-shooter, I guess, and, I guess an auto-shooter would be, like, you know, the actual term for this. Even though, like, yeah, bullet hell, perhaps, except this isn't really a bullet hell, unless the enemies count as bullets. I guess they do? I'm not sure. Yeah. But anyway, so it's nice that there's no, like, vendor trash and just basically no inventory management, because that's the thing that bugs me about role-playing games in general, is that eventually they all become the exact same boring, not fun game, which is Inventory Management Simulator. I hate that game, and I don't know, some people like it, some people like inventory management in RPGs and games which have RPG elements, but I don't. Like, I really don't. It's, yeah, it's just, it's not the fun part of the game, which is kind of why, like, yeah, like, a game like this, Halls of Torment, it's great. You jump in, like, if you just, you know, feel like, you know, jumping in, you have a half-hour game, like, there's even a clock down in the bottom right there, you can see how much time has passed. It's not exactly half an hour, because of course you gotta, on the level up screen you see here, this takes a little bit of time. I was half tempted to, like, cut those out of this video so it could be exactly half an hour long, but I figured, nah, it helps to see. I did cut out the part at the very beginning where I'm, like, choosing my gear and just doing the kind of stuff. Oh, I just saw the thing where, like, you can skip that in favor of more XP. Damn it! I didn't know that. That's actually why, if you want to learn a game, it actually helps to, like, watch yourself play it. Like, it's a funny thing to do, I guess, but, like, if you want to notice things in a game that you wouldn't notice playing in the moment, like, doing something like this, like recording yourself play it and watching the footage back, that's actually a great way to, like, I don't know, spot things that you would have missed. I basically just said the same thing twice, but in different words. Apologies for that. But yeah, it's like your eyes don't rest in the same direction, because in games like this, it would actually be really fun, because there are things, and I think it's like, I know in particular, like, driving, there's a kind of thing you can wear on your face. I'm not sure what kind of device it is, I don't remember, but it tracks your eye movement, it tracks where your eyes move, and in the context of a learner versus an experienced driver, like a learner driver, their eyes will be kind of wandering all over the place, and you can see that they're having to manually think about what they're doing, like, you know, it wanders up to the rearview mirror, it wanders over to the speedometer, it wanders over to the side mirror, that kind of thing. But an experienced driver is like, they're on the road, mirror, on the road, mirror, speedometer, on the road, mirror, like, just, you know, roughly just, you know, and the tempo is steady because they've done it for a while. It would be very interesting to see where, and I'm pretty sure someone's almost certainly done this. Like, I bet you a shiny jelly bean that somebody out there has rigged that kind of setup to the head of someone playing a video game, and maybe even, like, comparing and contrasting someone who's new to the game versus someone who's, like, very experienced with it, just like the driving, and to see where exactly their eyes are looking on screen, because, like, that would be just very interesting to see, because in this game, I think what my eyes are doing is generally it's looking at whatever enemy I'm closest to so that I can dance around them. And you can see multiple times in this video, like you can really cut corners, like you can slip within inches of an enemy. I'll try and call it out next time I see it. Oh, yeah, like, oh, well, didn't quite manage it there. Nope, didn't quite manage it there either. I guess I'm calling myself out for doing it wrong. But yeah, it's like... So yeah, my eyes are just focused on whatever's coming close, on whatever's coming in near, but watching it back, you can kind of look around. So I'm free to look around, say, on the right-hand side. You can see just the percentages ticking up and down. Which I think, if nothing else, it'll be really, really good for... Well, I'm not gonna even think about trying to tell game designers how to do their job, like, because, take it from me, I have been told in no uncertain terms that they hate that. If you don't know how to make a video game, you must realize that you should not tell someone else how to do their job if you have no idea how to do their job. I guess that goes for most professions, but video games are particularly... the world of video games is particularly prone to that because everyone has an opinion on it. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, 'cause I think it would be very useful for game designers to see, like, you know, with their games, where the player's eyes are most of the time. Because, and of all things to bring up, Dark Souls. Or games like it. So, I am not a fan of... Well, by the way, if you want me to play Dark Souls on the channel for any reason, That would probably be very funny, because I hate Dark Souls, even though I respect it. I respect the hell out of Dark Souls and FromSoft. But yeah, it's not the game for me, so me playing it will be much tears and frustration. And I might not be able to continue it, but you know what? We can have a go. We can give her a fair go, mate. There's my inner New Zealander coming out. Also my external New Zealander. But anyway, damn it, I'm taking a long time to get to the point. But it'll be very useful for UI designers, and I guess any kind of video game designer, just to be able to check where the AI, Deacon's hell, the AI probably, but also where the player's eyes are resting most of the time, because, and this is where we get back to Dark Souls, stamina-based combat, where whether you can swing or dodge or do whatever is determined by a little bar that, in Dark Souls in particular, is off on the upper left corner of the screen under your health, which, one of the reasons I hate that is because that's not where your eyes are looking. If you're playing those games, and not least of which is because they're damn stressful, because it's high stakes. If you die, you are dead. Man, you're going to be seeing that screen a lot. But your eyes aren't looking there, and you have to, like, I don't know, it's just very unintuitive, I feel, for your eyeballs to be, you know, you almost have to memorize, like, what you can get away with your stamina bar, so you don't go ham. And I guess that's the idea. I've been talking and listening to myself and basically saying, well, that's probably the idea, stupid. But still, the fact that, like, there's a little arbitrary meter determining what the player can and cannot do, like, in the part of the screen where they're probably not looking at for the most time, I don't like that. I'm not a fan of stamina-based combat. That's one of the reasons why. The other reason why is that it's a bit of a cop-out. There are ways of controlling the pacing of combat in video games, and you don't need the stamina bar, because there's other ways. There's, like... Honestly, I think if you remove the stamina bar from Dark Souls and games like it, and merely, like, if you put something in which, like, enemies can't be staggered more than once every X seconds or something like that, that already would, like, force the player to not, like, just dive in swinging non-stop, because they'll get hit straight back. And there's only so many Estus slots. I don't know. That is my opinion. Bearing in mind, here's the disclaimer. I'm not a video game designer, and I'm not even, like, you know, a Dark Souls fan, for the most part. I've played 3, and I've played a little bit of 3, some of 3, and I've tried my hand at Elden Ring, and that's it. So, if I am full of nonsense, please let me know, because that would be, you know, no one wants to be full of nonsense. That would be bad. And now we reach the point in the game where we can, that multi-strike thing, which is just determining, like, how many times, like, on... That's a fun mechanic, actually. Like, pretty sure it's not unique to this game, but it's basically, like, every X amount of times you, like, do the thing, there's an extra thing. Extra sword swing, extra funnel of fire, and stuff like that. It's really cool, and it means that this is the point where it's like, this is where you want to get to, where the mobs just, they get near you, and they just melt. I think, yeah, this is where manual aim is happening, because I'm wanting to cook that, I'm not even sure what that is, a cyborg electric crab? It's a giant enemy crab! You know, wave your hands and do a little dance, if you get that reference. Probably everyone got that reference, and so probably everyone's doing a silly dance now. Or they've just typed a comment saying, I'm not going to do a silly dance, how dare you command that I do a silly dance? How dare you, sir? How dare you, how dare you, how dare you? These, what the hell are these? One of the fun things about this game, or at least I think it's fun, is that I never remember what anything's called. So, all these unique enemies here, and one of the fun things about this game, and in fact, it's an improvement over Vampire Survivors in extent, is that they have different movement patterns. You'll notice that, what look to be, I don't know what the hell they're called, the zombie polar bears that, yeah, so that thing in the upper right there, the mini-boss, those things kind of circle you, And those floating armor ice ghosts things, they kind of move, like, directly towards you, but they have momentum, and they slow down to change direction. So, basically, yeah, you can see on the left, that mini-boss, Undead Polar Bear Hellhound, whatever the hell it is, it's basically moving parallel to me as it gets closer. So, to the warrior. I'm not in the game. It would be hilarious if I was. I'd probably be bloody useless. Like, you know, can you imagine? Imagine yourself as you exist in real life, put into any video game. How long would you last? I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that most of us would not last very long at all. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure that, like, however you translate it, I do not have over 1,000 health points. I don't know how many health points I have. What was that thing? There was almost like a viral video going around, or a method of, like, determining the hit points of your pets or something. I need to look that up. Excuse me, delicious sip of water. I'm gonna look that up right now, just because the warrior is doing very well on screen. He is setting absolutely everything on fire. Alright, enough about Diablo Resurrected. What was I looking at? Calculate your BMI. Not what I want. Okay, phone please. HP. Okay, nope, never mind. If you Google calculate your HP, what it comes up with, well, the first result for me anyway, is how to calculate, you know, horsepower, as in the power of your car. Okay, nope. Calculate your pet's HP. Alright, yeah, it's a video from Polygon, so let's go on GitHub, Pet HP calculator. Animal type. Okay, let's make something up here. Actually, no, I'm not gonna do that. Well, I found it. I can watch it later, I guess. And... yay! And now we've got yet another fire ability. Which is really fun. It's fun to set things on fire, both in real life and video games, except it's better in video games because there's no real life consequences, like air pollution, and legal repercussions for setting things on fire. Ah, boy. Of all the things to be reminded of, I'm reminded of the people who kept setting off fireworks in my neighborhood, like, not some time ago. And as far as I'm aware, there was no, like, holiday or anything, no special event. Oh, right, these are the zombie polar bears I was talking about. I don't know if they're zombie polar bears, or I don't know what they're supposed to be. I'm not sure how you find out, either. But anyway, fireworks. I don't like fireworks, and that's the end of that thought. I do love fire abilities in video games, though. Also, here's a great thing, is like, the graphics of this are quite, how would you say it? Like, simple, I guess? But it's kind of deliberate. I think, not only is it a great time and cost-saving measure to, like, hold back on the graphics, so to speak, but yeah, it's like, you can still, the game still looks good. Like, yeah, and the, not that many, like, you know, restricted frames, like, I believe that, yeah, this is 60 frames per second, but, at least I hope I recorded this in 60 frames per second. Maybe, watching this, by the way, I'm watching this in Windows Media Player, which I think even, Microsoft doesn't like using anymore, so I'm not even sure if I'm getting bang for my buck here. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so it's like, yay! 500,000 damage with Flame Strike. Woohoo! What was I talking about? Oh yeah, visuals. So, like, you know, you don't have to have super ow, you bastard. You don't have to have super realistic graphics in order for a game to look good, and I'm not telling anyone watching this what they don't know, but, like, I think this game is kind of a demonstration of that. It's, like, it's simple, it's stylized, but yet, this is the kind of graphics that actually ages really well. Like, you think back to, like, the early 2000s, for instance, where I think 3D games were really becoming a thing. Actually, I would like to look at that first 3D video game. First, I do this. Okay, phone, humidity, sticky fingers. My phone's ancient. Should get a new phone. Anyway, so first, 3D video game. According to Google, okay, never mind. 1973, Maze War, a multiplayer shooter where players as eyeballs roam mazes and hunt each other down. Whoa, the game was created on the best computers at that time, which is the Imlac PDS-1, priced at $8,000. Bloody Nora, okay. Okay. My goodness. Well, like, it took a while, I think, for, like, 3D games to catch on. Like, I remember 3D games first, like, appearing, like, left, right, and center of the early 2000s, but then again, that's just my memory, which is very flawed. I am only human. I am not, in fact, a hairy black ball with a Skyrim helmet, despite what my channel icon would lead you to believe. But yeah, it's like, those games have not aged well visually as much as 2D games that came out at the same time, or in fact 2D games that came out before them. The original Age of Empires, which my dad still plays, by the way, and he loves it, is that that game still looks good. And, like, the UI is still good. You can tell what's going on, you can see everything you need to see, and you can tell what things are, and it just looks great. In fact, I'd say it's better than the remastered version, which Microsoft, was it a remaster or a remake? I don't remember. It's better than the remastered version that Microsoft released and tried to cash in on. Damn it, I should have hit the X. Should have hit the X, no reason to take that. So, that's not a UI fail, I don't think. I think that's just me failing to pay attention. Oh boy, so this is the part, the last 5 minutes of these is where things get really hectic, and so in games like this, I feel that if you haven't gotten a certain amount of, like, DPS, you are not going to win, simply because you need to basically, the way you survive at this point is to kill everything, before it can even gets near you, and before it can surround you. If you can't do that, you're not going to win. Which is getting back to what I said earlier, one strategy that seems to work in all games like this that have the mechanic of, like, critical hits, max out critical hits. And you will, like, do oodles and boodles of damage. In fact, a similar game to this, which I'm probably gonna, like, cover on this channel at some point, either in a commentary if nothing else, is Soulstone Survivors, which is a game I quite like, even though there's a lot to hate about it. And more than any other Survivors types game, it has a problem with you not being able to see what the hell you're doing, and also there being way too much stuff happening at once because there's a whole bunch of ranged enemies that, you know, just fill the entire screen with, you know, the floor is lava. And, yeah, what was I getting at with that? Alright, so in that game, for anyone who has played it or wants to play it, pretty much the only way to do well, it seems, is to really go nuts on the critical damage and anything that improves your chance for critical damage, or anything that, yeah, basically that, like, that's it. Crits for days. And, especially there's a rune in that game, which, if you use it, oh boy, this is where I thought I was going to die. There's a rune that if you use it, it basically means any, if your critical chance is, like, it adds your critical chance, to your critical damage. So if you have 100% critical chance, you also have 100% critical damage, which is busted as hell. So, yeah, and, like, the game is a lot easier if you do that. And this game, however, doesn't have the same problem as Soulstone Survivors, because there's considerably less stuff that, like, turns the floor into lava, and it's much easier to see, generally, what's coming at you. Sometimes it gets a little bit hard to see. But yeah, there's like considerably... Most enemies are not ranged. The way they're varied, like I said, is like their movement patterns are different. And it's usually the mini-bosses and the bosses which tend to have ranged abilities or stuff that, you know, makes... turns the floor into lava, basically. So, there's a term for that. There's an RPG/MMO term for that, and I don't remember what it is. So, sorry, I guess. But yeah, and I think, like, Soulstone survivors should take very careful note of this game in particular and how it's succeeding in things that Soulstone survivors is, like, kind of failing at. Because you don't need regular enemies with, like, ranged attacks, and you certainly don't need bosses that, I don't know, like, cause the ground to be lava and stay lava for, like, you know, until they're dead. That's not fun. Oh, boy. Also, I've forgotten what this boss is named, because, like, in case you haven't noticed, we've been fighting a boss now for some time, and... they're not dead yet. I think what I was doing at this point was circling around, trying to get within range of them again. All those things moving across the screen, I think, are like burrowing things, worms, whatnot. And where is it? Wait, did he die? No, he didn't. He's somewhere. I think? I don't know. Did we kill him? I don't even know. I don't remember. I think we did kill him, and I just wasn't paying attention because I was too busy listening to the sound of my own voice. You can't listen and look at the same time. Actually, you can. That's how you learn. Never mind, I'm wrong. Okay, so here's 5 seconds to go. Things are dicey, 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 and here's the final boss coming. I don't know what this guy's deal is, but I do know that I don't know, wave attack right there, that sucks. And this as well. When he spins like that, he, it, she, they, I don't know. When he spins like that... Okay, no, the trick with this guy is to keep circling around him. If you just try and back up away from him, they, it, I don't know. Like, excuse me, Mr. I'm sorry, Battle Axe Ice World boss? What are your pronouns, please? Like, I'm going to kill you and set you on fire, but I do want to be respectful while I do it. No hard feelings. It's just how I win the game. Okay, you're just gonna keep attacking me. Alright. Alright, you're doing the spinny thing, the really annoying spinny thing. Alright, I'm just gonna call you it. Because apparently you're not being respectful to me, so I'm gonna stop being respectful to you, okay? Is that okay with you? You're doing the spinny thing again. Alright, you got it. Ow, 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 ow. Gotcha. Ow. Right. Understood. We're doing maximum disrespect. Got it. Got it. My pronouns are he and him, by the way. Not that you care. Anyway. This is the final boss of this, and like, I think actually like I ended up with this fire warrior. Ow, 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 ow! Thank goodness for over 1,000 hit points and fast health regen. I think I actually stumbled onto a pretty decent build for, like, killing bosses, because you just stack that burning on them, and also the fact that the rats afflict him in a way that he takes extra damage from, like, what's the word from it? From status effects? That's really good. Yay! Turn off auto aim, and we did it! We've survived the frozen depths. And damage is mostly the sword and the flame wave, by the looks of it. So, yeah, that's really good. That's really good. I liked that. So, that concludes this roguelike commentary. So, how does my spiel for this go? Like so, please like the video, share it, watch the currently only other one that's uploaded at the time of recording. There will be more, no worries, and yeah, that's it. Basically, watch more videos, subscribe if you want to, and I will see you next time in another roguelike, and whatever video comes next. There's going to be a whole bunch of different ones. So, farewell!